Excellencies, teaching faculties, admin staff, non-teaching staffs, students and parents, good afternoon to one and all. I'm Hisham, a part of distinguished Yenepoya deemed to be university community. As we all know, we have assembled here for the webinar on the topic Civil Service as a career option in India, organized by Center for Civil Service Examination, Yenepoya deemed to be university. Let me welcome all of you to this very event. I'm honored to have this auspicious occasion. Let me get into my Mr. Mohammed Ali Roomi. Mohammed Ali Roomi sir is a coordinator and faculty for Center for Civil Service Examination, Civilian at Yenepoya deemed to be university. He has worked as an educator and guest faculty for civil services examination, coaching and training across the country, pan India. Roomi sir is a graduate in business management and administration. He is also a certified professional in economics and international business. He has been working across the country for the last 6 years. Roomi sir is known for his strong command in UPSC Civil Service Examination, coaching and training pan India. Roomi sir is known for his easy accessibility to the students and for providing constructive and thoughtful analysis of the strengths and weaknesses of the students. His exceptional teaching methodology is simple and full of practical examples. Each lecture interesting. Under the dynamic leadership of Mr. Roomi sir, an aspirant learns the art of writing answers with the right blend of theories and facts. His hold on general studies is unmatched. He has successfully mentored thousands of IAS aspirants and civil service examination aspirants across the country. His ability to connect the past with the present not only helps a student to understand the contemporary issues confronting the country, but also makes the study of the past both lively and interesting. Let me have this honor to welcome Roomi sir to this very event. Welcome to you, sir.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and it's a great privilege and a honor to address to you people. So before I actually start my today's session, I would like to thank the principal of Yenepoya Institute of Art, Science, Commerce and Management, Dr. Arun Bhagwath, because he is a man and he is a brain and he is an idea behind this particular initiative. So I must thank him for conducting this event this afternoon. And I would like to also thank all the statutory officers of Yenepoya University for organizing a webinar on the topic Civil Services as a Career Option in India. So before I actually start the session, I would like to request each and every one of you and all the participants out there to participate with me. So what happens is I will not be speaking for the next 60 to 90 minute stretch. So if I go on speaking for the next 60 to 90 minutes, obviously you will also get bored and I will also get exhausted. So what I request is, I request each and every one of you out there, all the students, teaching staffs and non-teaching staffs and administrative staffs to participate with me throughout the session. And when it comes to my today's session, I will not only speak only in English. If you want, I can speak in any of the regional language as well. I can speak all the regional languages across the country. If you want, I can speak in any of the regional languages as per your choice. So I expect each and every one of you sitting out there to participate with me throughout the session. So are you all with me? If yes, I kindly request each and every one of you to click on that hand symbol or the raise button. So are you all with me? Yes, that's great. The topic for the day is civil services as a career option in India. So when I talk about civil services, it's all about how you people can get into the government jobs. That is at the central level, state level, and the district administration level. So basically, I'll be explaining about these concepts. When I talk about civil services as a career option in India, it is not only restricted to a certain target group of people, but on the contrary, it is to hold all the people, be it whatever may be your educational background, whether you are from MBBS background, whether you are from BDS, whether you are from BSc, BPharm, or any degree for that matter, each and every one of you sitting out there is eligible to appear in the civil services examination in India. So the agenda for the day would be, I'll be talking about these 9 aspects today. First of all, I'll be discussing briefly everything about list of civil services and competitive examinations in India. So here, I'll be discussing about various competitive examinations in India. In India, we have multiple exams. There are about 56 plus. I repeat, there are about 56 plus government examinations in India. All the 3 stages, that is at the central level, state level, and the district level. So I'll be discussing about various civil services and competitive examinations in India. And I'll be also discussing about why you should pursue a career in civil services. You may be a professional, you may be a medical doctor, you may be an engineer, you may be a dentist, you may be a surgeon, you may be a CA, you may be working for the topmost profession, you may be an expert in your profession, or you may be an expert in your domain area. But still, I would say that civil services is a best career option, and I will give you the justifications and reason that why you should pursue a career in civil services. So that would be our second agenda for the day. Then the third important most agenda I'll be discussing today is aptitude and foundational values for civil services. Everybody cannot become a civil servant. Even though you may be highly qualified, you may be having exceptional skills, you may be having an exceptional ability, but to become a civil servant, you need to have certain aptitude and foundational values. So I'll be discussing about those things, which are those aptitude values and foundational values you need to have to crack these civil services or to crack this kind of prestigious examinations of the country. Then the most important agenda for the day is Plan B. So when I talk about Plan B, it is all about backup option. Everyone, each and every aspirants who apply or appear in the civil services examination, who write the competitive examination, may not crack that particular examination. So whenever you try to get into the civil services, Plan B is a must. So that would be our fourth agenda for the day. Then the fifth most important agenda for the day is, I'll be discussing briefly everything about strategy to crack these prestigious civil services examination in the very first attempt. Yes, I repeat, in the very first attempt. Be it UPSC, IAS examination, IPS examination, IFS, SSC, RRB, CGL, or any examination that for that matter, I would like to give you the strategy to crack this prestigious examination in the very first attempt. So that would be my fifth agenda for the day. The sixth agenda for the day is there are a lot of myths in the society. There are a lot of myths and false informations about the civil services examination spread out by the people. So I would like to bust those myths. So I'll be discussing about various myths about civil services examination. Then the important topic I would be discussing today is the role of parents and teachers during the examination preparation or during the civil services examination preparations. Because whenever we try to appear in any of these competitive examination, two people plays a major important role in our life. First, obviously, our parents. Second, most important role players or the role models are our teachers. Being a teacher, how we can help our students to crack this particular examination is also a very, very challenging part. So I'll be discussing about these agenda as well. So then I'll be discussing about required for civil services examination, be it IAS examination, UPSC, civil services, KPSC, SSC, RRB, any examination for that matter. There are set of documents which has to be submitted by each and every candidate. So I'll be discussing about these aspects. And finally, after all these discussions, we will have FAQ, that is frequently asked questions. We can have a Q&A session. So I request each and every participants out there to have an interactive session. If you wish to, you can on your camera, you can speak to me, you can interact with me in any of the regional languages. I repeat, it need not be only in English. You can speak in Kannada, you can speak in Malayalam, you can speak in Urdu, you can speak in Hindi, any of your language. If still you are hesitant to speak, you can comment or you can ask your questions on the chat box. We will try to give you the answer at our very best possible manner. So this would be the agenda for the day. So are you all ready? Are you all okay? And are you all ready with me? I just want to know your confirmation for that. If you are ready, I would like to proceed further. Before that, I request each and every participants out there to raise hand, or you can click on that hand signal just to make sure that you are ready for the further slides and further discussions. Are you all with me? Yes, I'm getting excellent. So let's proceed. So I'll be proceeding towards the first slide of the day. Classification of civil services examination in India. If you are planning to write any of the competitive examinations in India, or if you're planning to become a civil servant in India, you need to know these particular classification very, very thoroughly. Unless and until you are familiar with this classification, it's very difficult to write any examinations in India. I repeat that. Unless and until you are thorough, it's very difficult for you to appear in any of the competitive examinations of this particular country. Now, if I want to discuss about the classifications of civil services in India, it is broad classified into three different types. You need to understand this very, very carefully. I repeat all the participants out there to look at this particular slide very, very carefully. Unless and until you understand this particular slide, it's very difficult for you to understand the concept which I am going to explain to you in the upcoming slides. So are you all with me? Once again, I want all the participants out there to raise hand so that I come to know that you are with me till the discussions what I am discussing for them. I just want to know how many of you are with me. Just please raise your hand. Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, so now if you look at this particular slide, I think you must have come to a conclusion that civil services in first one is All India Services. Second type of classifications of civil services in India is Central Civil Services. The third type of classification of civil services in India is State Administrative Services. I repeat, the first type of classification is All India Services. The second type of classification is services, and the third type of classification of civil services is State Administrative Services. Now, when I talk about All India Services, it has got three types of services. You can see on the slide, the three All India Services are IAS, IPS, and IFS. Can any one participant out there let me know the abbreviation of IAS? What is, you can comment the answer in the comment section. What is an abbreviation of IAS? Yes, what is IAS? Excellent. Mohammed Sinan. Yeah, Mohammed Sinan. IAS is Indian Administrative Services. Exactly. That's a valid. That's a correct answer. And what is IPS? Can anyone student? What is IPS? What is IPS? Yes, IPS is Indian Police Services. And what is IFS? Can anyone tell me what is IFS? What is IFS? Okay, somebody is telling me that IFS stands for Indian Forest Services. And someone is giving me the answer that IFS is Indian Foreign Services. Okay, there is a confusion. So there are two IFS in the All India Services. One is Indian Foreign Services and the second type of IFS is Indian Forest Services. When I talk about All India Services, which services I am talking about? Can anyone give me the answer? Yes, Miss Latika Ullal. She's gave me the answer that it's Foreign Services, and Mohammed Abrar is giving me an answer that it is Indian Forest Services. So what would be the right answer for that? When I talk about All India Services, here IFS stands for Indian Forest Services. That has to be very clear. So All India Services is all about IAS, IPS and Indian Forest Services. Excluding these three services, all other services in the central list comes under Central Civil Services. Now again, your Indian Foreign Services comes under Central Civil Services. So tomorrow if anybody asks you about the classification of civil services in India, you must be in a position to explain to them that excluding these three services, that is IAS, Administrative Services, Indian Police Services and Indian Foreign Services, all other services are categorized under Central Civil Services of India. Further, Central Civil Services of India is further classified into Group A jobs, Group C, Group B and Group C. So, Central Civil Services is further bifurcated into three different aspects, Group A, Group B and Group C. And apart from all the Central Civil Services, then rest everything comes under the State Administrative Services. Am I clear so far? Any confusions, any doubts? Am I clear? Am I clear? Should I proceed further for the upcoming slides? Should I proceed? Yes. I hope this is very, very clear. So once again, I repeat it for your convenience. Civil services in India is broadly classified into three types: All India Civil Services, Central Civil Services and State Administrative Services. These are the broad classifications of civil services in India. Now, if you want to appear in the civil services examination, you need to understand that there are minimum eligibility criteria to appear in the examination. You need to understand that particular aspects very, very carefully. If you come under general category, there are category distributions: general category, OBC, SC, ST, then disabled category. Now, if you come under general category, you can start writing this particular examination after you complete the age of 21. I repeat, if you are planning to serve the country in the topmost civil servants in the top Group A jobs, the minimum entry limit, the minimum entry age to appear in this particular examination is 21 with any degree. You need not be from so and so degree. You can be from MBBS background. You can be from BDS, you can be from BSc Nursing, you can be from B.Pharm, you can be from BBA, you can be from BCom, any degree is fine. The minimum eligibility criteria to appear in these civil services, the Group A civil services is 21. You can write this particular examination up till the age of 32. Am I clear? Any confusion so far? This is for the general category. And all those who come under general category, the government of India has given 6 attempts. Clear these prestigious examinations in your very first attempt, you will get an additional attempt. You can try up till the age of 32. It's not that you write this particular examination at the age of 21, you give your one attempt. If you're unable to get through the examination, no, you should not give up. There are 6 attempts. You can try for these civil services up till the age of 32 years. And if you come under general category. Similarly, if you come under OBC category, by the way, what is an abbreviation of OBC? I would like to know the participants' response. What is an abbreviation of the answer for that? What is an OBC? Yes, Miss Miss Anisha. Miss Anisha is giving me the answer that OBC stands for other backward caste. Exactly, that's an abbreviation of OBC category, other backward caste. All those aspirants who come under the category of this particular examination is 35. And the entry is same, irrespective of your category wise. The minimum entry level is 21 with any degree, and the maximum age limit for OBC category is 35 years. And if you look at the number of attempts between the general category and OBC category, general there it is 6 attempts. As far as OBC category is concerned, here they have got 9 attempts, which means all those who come under OBC category, they have got 3 more additional attempts. I believe that I am clear so far. Am I clear? Am I clear, participants? Yes. Okay, nice. And all those who come under SC and ST category, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, the maximum age limit to appear in these central government and state government group A job is 37 years. And they have got unlimited attempts. Unlimited attempts in the sense, if you start writing this particular examination at the age of 21, and if you are unable to get through the examination, you can write these prestigious examination up till the age of 37 till you attain that particular age bar, and you can give any number of attempts. So these are the opportunities, or these are the privileges given by the government of the country for the people who come under SC and ST category. And another type of classification is disabled category. All those who come under a disabled category, by the way, disabled are those who are physically challenged or the handicapped individuals. All those who come under disabled category, the maximum age limit for appearing these prestigious central and state civil services group A examination is 42 years, and they have got 9 attempts. There is a small correction in the slide which has to be rectified, and it is a mistake from our end. This is not a total number of unlimited attempts. They have got 9 attempts. They have to clear this examination before they attain the age of 42 years. So far. Yes, participants, I want the participation rates. Am I clear? Yes, repeat once again. Okay, excellent. All those who come under general category, the minimum entry age is 21, the maximum age is 32, and you can write for these examination up till the age, you can write this examination for 6 times. And all those who come under OBC category, the minimum entry age is 21, and you can appear in this examination up till the age of 35, and you have got 9 attempts. And all those who come under SC and ST category, the maximum age limit for these prestigious examination is 37 years, and you can write for these examination unlimited times. And all those who come under disabled category, the maximum age limit is 42, and you have got 9 attempts to crack this particular prestigious examination. This is a basic eligibility criteria to appear in the competitive examination. I am talking about the central government and state government group A jobs that you have to keep in mind. There are different types of job in the central service civil services, group A, group B, group C and group D. So far what I have discussed is all about group A gazetted officers. Group B and group C will be discussed in the upcoming slides. Now I want each and every participants out there to look at this particular slide very, very carefully. I repeat, all the participants sitting out there, I want you to look at this particular slide very, very carefully. If you're planning to write UPSC, IAS, IPS or IFS examination, or the civil services examination for that matter, or if you're planning to appear for combined medical services examination, or if you're planning to appear in KPSC, Karnataka Public Service Examination, or any state public service examination for that matter, or any government examination or the civil services examination in group A category, you need to understand this particular slide very officially in the month of February through gazetted notification of India or through the gazetted notification of the respective state, notification will be released in the month of February. In the month of June, there will be the preliminary examination. Once you get through the preliminary examination, there is something called as mains examination, which will be scheduled in the month of September or October. Once you get through the mains examination, there is next phase called as interview, which will be scheduled in the month of March or February, and the final results will be declared in the month of April or May. Now, I want the participant to give me the gist of this particular slide. What do you understand by looking at this particular slide? What assumption comes to your mind? Yes. Optional subject. Yes, Miss Divya. I'll be discussing everything about civil services examination, and your question will also be answered in the upcoming slides. Now, back to the participants. Now, if you look at this particular slide, what thought comes to your mind? What assumptions can you make out by looking at this particular slide? Yes, Mr. Mohan is giving me the answer that the entire examination process takes 1 year to complete. Exactly, that's an answer. If you're planning to write, you need to dedicate at least 1 year, starting from the notification stage to the final stage, or from the notification to the result stage. You would require minimum 12 months. You have to dedicate 12 months of the precious time to crack this particular prestigious examination. So what suggestion I would give is, all those students who are in your UGs or all the students who are in your PGs in the final year can think about this particular or these kinds of competitive examinations. Every year, notification is released in the month of February. We keep on getting lots of calls, messages and inquiries about the examination in the month of August, September, that when is the notification. We are tired of giving answers back to back. We are tired of explaining to them each and every time. So I have made it very clear that this particular slide will be put up wherever I take up for these kinds of classes. So notification will be released in the month of February. This has to stay in your mind if you're planning to write civil services. And your preliminary examination will be scheduled in the month of June the same year, and the mains will be in the month of September or October. Once you get through the mains, interview will be February or March. Final results will be declared in the month of May or April following year. So 1 year commitment is a must if you are planning to write any of the competitive or civil services examinations of this particular country. I believe that I'm clear so far. Now, I would like to get into UPSC. Can any one student or any participant there give UPSC? What is an abbreviation of UPSC? Any participants out there? What is UPSC? What is an abbreviation? Yes, Mr. Kumar. Mr. Kumar is giving answer that UPSC stands for Union Public Service Commission. Exactly. That's an abbreviation of UPSC, Union Public Service Commission. Yes, Mr. Kumar, what is the primary objective of UPSC? What is the primary objective of UPSC? Don't know? Okay. As you rightly said, UPSC stands for Service Commission. It is a constitutional body of Government of India, is responsible for recruiting IAS, IPS and IFS officers and all the officers in the central government services. Am I clear? UPSC is a constitutional division, it's a constitutional wing of Government of India, which is responsible for conducting examination, scheduling interview, appointing the officers, transferring the officers, promoting the officers, termination of officers, and promotion and all the activities related to the officers in the central government of India. Be it IAS examination, civil services, IPS, IFS, or any examination for that matter, UPSC is directly responsible for conducting examination and selecting the candidates. As far as UPSC is concerned, UPSC concentrates on multiple examination, not only on civil services, it also focuses on CMS examination. All the medical graduates out there, or all the medical students who are listening to my today's session, I would like to say that there is one exam called as CMS, Combined Medical Services, which is exclusively designed for MBBS students, and that particular examination is conducted by UPSC itself. Now, be it IAS, IPS or IFS examination or any examination for that matter, whatever the examination conducted by UPSC has 3 different stages, or the civil services examination conducted by UPSC has 3 different stages. The first stage of examination is called as preliminary examination, which will be scheduled in the month of June. The next stage of examination is called as mains examination. Once you get through the preliminary examination, the next stage comes mains examination, which is scheduled in the month of October. Once you get through the mains examination, the next stage of examination is interview, or it is called as personality test, which is scheduled in the month of March or April. So basically, civil services, the examinations conducted by UPSC has 3 different stages. You need to understand this, because unless and until you understand this chart very carefully, it becomes difficult for you to understand my upcoming slides. So I am repeating these words again and again. So civil services are, first stage is preliminary examination, second stage is mains examination, and the third stage is interview. If you want to become an IAS officer, if you want to become an IPS officer, IFS officer, IRS officers, or any civil services at the central level, there are no multiple exams. That you have to understand very carefully. Generally, we think that IAS exam is different, IPS exam is different, IFS exam is different, or IRS or any other examination is different. No, there is only one examination conducted called as Civil Services Examination. Under the Civil Services Examination, there are about 24 services. Among these 24 services, one services is IAS, or the another type of services is IPS or IFS. I will explain to you about these slides in the upcoming slides. But for the time being, I would like to make sure that you are very thorough with this particular slide. Civil services examination is broadly classified into 3 different stages: preliminary examinations, mains examinations, and interview. When I talk about preliminary examination, it has got 2 papers. I repeat, in the stage of preliminary examination, it has got 2 papers. The first paper is General Studies 1. It is also called as GK paper or General Knowledge paper. The second type of paper in the civil services is called as Aptitude paper, Civil Services Aptitude paper. Now, when I talk about GS1 paper, there are about 100 questions which carries 2 marks each. So the maximum total in GS1 paper is 200. Now, this might sound something very funny to all the participants out there. Most of the questions asked in the GS1 paper are based on the newspaper editorial column. Newspaper editorial column. You need not read the bulky study materials. You need not go through the unwanted source of information. If you are thorough with the Hindu editorial, I repeat, the Hindu editorial newspaper, you can crack most of the questions asked in the GS1 paper. In support to GS1, in support to the Hindu newspaper, you need to read class 6 to 12 NCERT textbooks. Yeah, I know this might sound something funny for highly professional, qualified professionals out there, but that's a fact. If you want to crack any competitive examination, you need to read NCERT textbooks, class 6 to 12. Most of the questions in GS1 part are being asked from the NCERT textbook itself. 40% of the questions are asked from the NCERT textbooks. Remaining 60% are asked from the editorial column, which is printed on the Hindu newspaper. So if you put together, if you compile these together, easily cracked GS1 paper in the preliminary examination. Next paper is GS2 paper. It is also called as CSAT paper, Civil Services Aptitude paper. Now, when I talk about Civil Services Aptitude paper, it is up to class 10 mathematics. Most of the questions are asked related to the mathematics, logical reasoning, mental ability and comprehension, which is equivalent to class 10. Generally, when we think about civil services examination, we read lot of bulky study materials, lot of books. Those things are not at all required, honestly speaking, to crack preliminary examination. If you are thorough with NCERT textbook class 6 to 12, if you're fundamentally strong with the mathematics up till the class 10, you can crack any competitive examinations in the country. Once you get through the preliminary examination, there is something called as mains examination. And before I get into mains examination, I would like to clarify that preliminary examination is a multiple choice based pattern. You don't have to write anything in the preliminary examination. You just have to tick. You just have to choose the right appropriate answer. So once you get through the preliminary examination, the next stage of civil services examination is mains examination. Yes, somebody as speaker is on, I guess. Kindly request you to put off your mic. We'll have a discussion. We'll have a face-to-face. We'll have an interaction. So now, for time being, I can request to put off your mic. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So I was discussing about civil services examination pattern. I discussed about the preliminary exam. Now I'll be discussing about mains examination. In the mains examination, there are 7+2 papers. I outrightly don't say that there are 9 papers. I repeat, it is 7+2. There is a reason behind that. Can anyone tell me why I am telling 7+2? I am not outrightly saying that it is 9 paper, but I am saying 7+2. What is the reason, or what would be the logic? What would be the logic behind that? You can text, yeah, 2 is an qualifying paper. Exactly, that is an answer. 2 papers are the qualifying paper. Out of those 2 qualifying paper, 1 paper is a compulsory. English paper is a compulsory, irrespective of any. Qualifying paper would be optional language paper. Suppose if you are from Karnataka, your optional language would be Kannada. If you are from Kerala, the optional paper would be Malayalam. Or if you are from Tamil Nadu, your optional paper would be Tamil. So on. It keeps on changing from state to state. So these, for that reason, 2 papers are qualifying in nature. Whatever may be the marks you score, it will not be counted for the final ranking of the evaluation. Now, I will get into the 7 main papers of the civil services mains aspects. Out of 7 papers which is being asked in the main examination, 5 papers, or first I will explain the 4 papers, 4 plus 1 plus 2. That formula we will implement. There are 7 papers in the main examination, 4 plus 1 plus 2. Now, when I talk about 4 papers, these 4 papers are called as general studies paper. That you have to understand very carefully. When I talk about general studies paper, paper 1, first is all about Indian history, art and culture and Indian heritage. Again, to cover these aspects, to complete the concepts asked in this paper, you have to read NCERT textbook, EVS textbook from class 6 to 12. I believe I'm clear so far. If you're thorough with EVS, that is Environmental Science, class 6 to 12 NCERT textbook, you can easily crack GS1 paper. GS2 paper is all about Indian polity, constitution. Again, if you read EVS books, along with some of the supporting books like polity, constitutions, you can easily crack GS2 paper. GS3 paper is all about science and technology, disaster management and economics. GS4 paper is all about ethics, integrity and aptitude. So what I'm trying to convey, for what I'm trying to put together is, GS paper is very, very easy to crack. Irrespective of your educational background, irrespective of your qualification, it's very, very easy to crack GS paper. So I'm done with 4 part. Then the fifth type of question would be essay paper. When I talk about essay paper, you need to answer only 2 essay of your choice. There will be 8 questions, 8 essay questions. Part 1, 4 questions. Part 2, 4 questions. There will be total 8. You need to choose any of those particular topic and you have to answer only 2 questions. Once you write this particular paper, it's very easy for you to clear the GS2 paper. Sorry, essay paper. So I'm done with 5 papers. Next comes a very interesting part, something called as optional paper. I think Miss Divya was asking me about paper. Here is a very interesting part. Now, when I talk about optional paper, most of the MBBS students or the medical professional, healthcare professional students, they go for MBBS as their optional paper. Now, if I take up medical sciences optional paper, will I clear that paper examination? Will I become a civil servant? No, because I am not a doctor. I don't know anything about the medical science. So, if I choose medical science, I will definitely fail in the civil services examination. On the other hand, all students have an advantage because MBBS is one of the optional paper in the civil services examination. So what I'm trying to say is you need to choose optional paper based on your respective degree or based on your academic qualification. For example, I am a management graduate, a business management graduate. My paper was management paper. Why did I choose optional management as my paper? Because I know everything about the management. I studied in my college. I studied during my UG days. So it was easy for me to crack that particular paper. So what I'm trying to say is optional paper should be according to your respective educational background. It need not be that you need to choose that paper itself. You can choose any of other optional papers also. There are about 20 plus optional papers. You can choose any of the optional paper, but to be on the safer side, to get more marks, to score in this particular examination and to get through the examination, if you choose optional paper based on your academic qualification, it is very easy to crack these prestigious examination. Again, I'm coming and I'm putting all this together. GS is very easy to crack. GS paper, class 6 to 12 NCERT, and essay you have to write just 2 essay, not more than that, only 2 essay, and optional paper as per your academic degree qualification. Now, if you put all these things together, it's very easy to crack the main examination in the civil services examination. Once you get through the mains examination, next comes a very crucial hurdle, that is interview. It's very easy to crack preliminary examination, it's easy to crack mains examination, but do you think cracking interview is that easy? That too in the civil services? Forget about civil services. Cracking private job or the private interview, it's very difficult these days. Now I'm talking about civil services. Cracking civil services interview is not an easy task. I repeat that. Cracking civil services interview is not an easy task, but there is a formula or there is a hidden mantra to crack civil services interview. The hidden mantra or the hidden tactic to crack the interview at civil services examination is very simple. Whenever you apply for these competitive examination, be it civil services or CMS or any examination for that matter, you have to submit something called as DAF. 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 DAF stands for Detailed Application Form. Basically, it is an application form. Nothing much to worry. Whenever you fill application, you have to fill the genuine information. You should not bluff there. There are about more than 10 to 15 columns in the application. There they will ask about your hobby, your passion, your areas of interest, your your extracurricular or ECCC activities. You as it is there. Generally, what happens is, as per our teaching experience, we have seen people they give all sorts of false information in the application. In the interview, the questions will be asked directly looking at your application. The interviewer will directly look at your application, will and ask you the questions. He will not look at any other source. He will directly look at the question paper and ask you the questions. So whenever you fill application for any examination, if you give the genuine information as per your passion and as per your expertise, it's very easy to crack interview as well. So these are the strategies and these are the 3 stages in the civil services examination. Just to summarize, just to sum it up, I would like to repeat it once again. Preliminary examination has 3 stages. First stage is preliminary examination. In the preliminary examination, there are 2 papers. You need to crack that. Once you crack preliminary examination, main examination, there are 7 plus 2, so 9 papers. You have to crack these papers. And once you clear this paper, there will be interview. Most of the questions in the interview are asked based on your DAF, that is application form. Once you pass all these stages, you will clear the examination conducted by UPSC, that is Union Public Service Commission. Now, this is just for your understanding. I think I have already conveyed this message to you. Preliminary examination will be of multiple choice based questions. There will be 4 questions. You need to choose the right appropriate answer. You don't have to write anything. You don't have to write the descriptive answers in the preliminary stage. And all the answers will be given and all the answers are readily available on the question paper. You just have to figure it out which are the right feasible options. That is in the preliminary examination. Now, if you look at the preliminary examination, I think I have already conveyed this message to you. GS1 paper is all about general knowledge and current affairs. And most of these concepts like current events, history of India and world geography, polity and governance, economic and social development, then general issues on environment, general science, and all these informations are readily available on NCERT class 6 to 12 textbooks. Readily available. You don't have to search, you don't have to read bulky study material. If you are thorough with NCERT textbook, you can easily crack 50 to 60% of the question, and rest remaining questions are directly asked from the Hindu editorial column. So the primary source of study material would be NCERT textbook and the Hindu English newspaper to crack paper 1. And I think I've already conveyed this message to you that CSAT is all about cracking mental ability and numerical ability. And again, up till class 10 mathematics, if you are thorough with class 10 mathematics, you can crack the CSAT papers as well. So this is about the structure of civil services preliminary examination, which is of MCQ based. And this is also conveyed to you in the GS1 paper. There are 100 questions. Each question carries 200 marks. So the grand total would be each question carries 2 marks. Sorry, so the grand total would be 200 marks. And GS2 paper, that is mathematics questions, would be 80, not 100, 80 questions. You just have to secure, you just have to qualify in that particular paper. If you get 66% or 66 marks out of 200, that paper will be considered as a qualified paper. And one more thing, important aspect which has to be kept in mind. If you are planning to write or if you are planning to appear in the civil services examination, this concept has to be kept in mind very carefully. Unless and until you qualify mental ability CSAT paper 2, your paper 1 will not be evaluated. We generally ignore. We generally try to pretend that we know everything up till mathematics, up till class 10 mathematics. No, you may be highly qualified, you may be a doctor, you may be an engineer, you may be a scientist, or you may be anything for that matter. Still, your mathematics knowledge, you will face challenge while looking at the CSAT paper. So what I'm trying to convey you is that you need to brush up your CSAT paper, and unless and until you get 66.66 in 66 marks in GS2, your one paper will not be evaluated, even if you get out in GS1 paper. So this is all about civil services preliminary examination. Next comes preliminary mains exam, UPSC mains examination. I think I have already conveyed this message to you earlier in the previous slide. You need to write how many essays? How many essays, participants there? You need to write how many essays? Yes, Mr. Abu. Yes, 2 essays. You do have to write 2 essays. And next comes general studies paper. How many general studies papers are there in the mains examination? Yes, Miss Disha. Yes, 4 papers. Correct. Then optional paper. How many optional papers are there? 2 papers. And how you need to choose optional papers? How you need to choose the optional papers? According to the degree. No, it's not according to degree. You need to understand these aspects very carefully once again. Paper related to degree is of great importance. If, for example, if you are from engineering background, you can choose engineering paper as your optional paper. It will be easy for you. Now, on the contrary, if you choose medical science MBBS paper, it is difficult for you to crack the examination. It need not that you will choose that particular paper itself. You can choose any of the optional paper, but the right strategy to crack this prestigious examination is to choose optional paper based on your respective degree, according to your interest and topics. Miss Latika Ullal. Yeah, Miss Latika Ullal is give me the answer that according to our interest topic. Exactly. That's what I was trying to convince you, Miss Latika. Exactly. You can you can choose optional paper as per your choice. For that, it is given optional. Optional in the sense, government of India or the government of the respective state government is giving you the option to choose the paper. But what I am trying to say is, if you choose optional paper relevant to your degree or your academic background, it would be easy for you to crack this particular examination. Right? Am I clear? Yes. So these are the pattern of UPSC mains examination. Now, when I talk about optional papers, there are n number of optional papers offered by the competitive examination and recruitment board. Now, if you look at all those who come under engineering background, this slide has to be kept in mind very, very carefully and thoroughly. All the engineering students out there, you can either go for civil engineering as your optional paper, you can go for electrical engineering as your optional paper, and you can go for mechanical engineering as your optional paper. If you are an engineering graduate or if you are an engineering student, if you choose this particular optional paper, it is very, very easy to crack the competitive examination. Similarly, all the medical graduates out there, all the MBBS final year students, all the MBBS graduates, if you choose medical science as your optional paper, it is very, very easy to crack this particular paper because you are already studying these papers in your UG classes. Or if you are a passed out student, you have already studied these papers in your UG. So that has to be kept in mind. Then, if you are from BSc, open the second one. Yes. If you are a BSc degree, if you are a BSc graduate, you have got lot of optional papers. You can go for agriculture, you can go for botany, you can go for chemistry, you can go for anthropology, you can go for animal husbandry, you can go for mathematics, you can go for statistics, you can go for physics, you can go for zoology, and many such papers related to your UG degree classes. Again, if you're from commerce and management background, you can directly choose commerce and management paper. That's all. Then if you're from social science, if you're a BA or a humanities student, you have got a lot of options like economics, geography, Indian history, philosophy, political science, psychology, public administration, sociology, and law. So what you need to understand is you need to choose optional paper as per your respective degree. If you do that, it is very easy for you to crack these examinations. It need not be that you have to choose this particular paper itself. For example, science student can go for social science papers, and social science student can choose any of the paper. This reshuffling can be done, but if you do that, it is difficult for you to crack the examination. So to be on the safer side, always go for the optional paper as per your degree in the respective field. So this is all about computer science. Sorry, there is no optional paper in the computer science. Computer science cannot, no, there is no optional paper. See, optional papers are whatever the lists here we have mentioned, right? So only those optional papers are given by the recruitment agencies, be it UPSC, KPSC, SSC, RRB, or anything for that matter. There is no computer science paper. I think you can go for anything related to the science field, like anything statistics or mathematics, such areas you can go for it. All right. Yes, so this is all about UPSC Civil Services Mains Examination. And as I already said that examination, once you get through the mains examination, the next stage of examination is, what is that? The third stage of examination? Yes, participants, what is the third stage of examination? You are done with prelims, you are done with mains. And what is the third stage?
Interview.
Yes, interview. It is also called as personality test. See, before you understand the interview tactics or the interview strategies, you need to understand this thing. You need to understand one important aspect very carefully, that there are 7 papers. Each paper carries 250 marks. So the grand total in the mains examination is 250 into 7. What is the grand total out there? 250 into 7. What is the grand total? 1750. In the personality test, you have been allotted 275 marks. So these 250 marks is purely based on your DAF, as I already said, DAF, detailed application form, and your presentation in front of the board members at the Public Service Commission. So the grand total in the civil services examination is 2225. Now, it's a very interesting information. Now, if you look at the past 10 to 15 year results in the civil services, be it IAS, IPS or any examination for that matter, can any one participant tell me what would be the top first rank holder marks? You need to understand these aspects very carefully. The grand total is 2025. The person who has secured first rank cumulatively for the past 10 to 15 years, what her or his mark might be? It is just 1050, which means 50%. Generally, we think that if you want to become an IAS, IPS or any government job, you need to secure 94%, 95%, 99%. No, that is an absolute misconception. If you get just 50 to 51%, you will clear this particular examination, because this is very difficult exams. You need to understand that. Getting 60%, 70% is not an easy task. If you get just 1000 plus, you can crack any of these particular examinations. Am I clear so far? Yes, participants, please raise your hand or please give me an indication that I'm clear so far, so that I can proceed with my upcoming session, upcoming topics. Yes, excellent. Yes, 41, 42. Yes, 37. Okay, excellent. Good enough. Fair enough. All right. See, now I want you to look at the screen very carefully. Here on the screen, you can find there are about how many services? 25 services, starting from IAS to the Pondicherry Police Services Group B. 25 services. Do you think the government will conduct separate exams for all these services, or it would be one cumulative, one common examination? What would be the strategy? Do you think the government will conduct different exam for IAS, different exam, IPS, different exam, IFS, different exam? No. Yes. For that, yes, one examination is conducted. That particular examination is CSE, UPSC Civil Services Examination. Now, if you clear Civil Services Examination, based on your ranks, your services will be allotted to you. For example, all those who secure rank 1 to rank 90, or it depends on the year, that you have to understand that if I make a statement that it is not full and final, you need to understand the rank keeps on changing year after year. For example, just let me give a basic explanation. If you get rank 1 to rank 75 or rank 1 to rank 100, let's keep it 100 for easy understanding. If you get rank 1 to 100, you will be assigned to IAS cadre, Indian Administrative Services. If you get rank 101 to 190 or 200, you will be assigned to Indian Police Services. 201 to 300 or 350, different services. Now, if you get around 700 or 18 rank, if you come under general category, do you think you will get an IAS officer's cadre? Do you think you will get, let's say your rank is 700 or 800, and you badly want to get into Indian Administrative Services? Will you get into administrative services? Why? Because if you come and exactly, that's an answer. There is a cutoff for every candidate. Even if you get top rank, if you don't meet the criteria mentioned by the government of India as per the constitution laid by Baba Saheb Ambedkar ji, you will not get that particular service. So what I'm trying to say, what the message I'm trying to convey you is that if you want to be on the top 3 services, you have to be under the top 3 ranks. In the sense, you have to be under top 100 or top 200. That has to be the focusing strategy. To attain that particular, to meet that particular objective, to get into that particular strategy, you need to be updated with the newspaper. That's all. That's the easiest, simple tracking strategy. And these are the 25 list of services. Quickly, I request everybody to go through the services. I will not go on reading, so it's a waste of my energy. So there are 25 services starting from IAS to Pondicherry Police Services. And or to get into all these services, you just have to appear in one examination, and that examination is UPSC Civil Services Examination. Yes, I'm getting a lot of queries from people. Latika Ullal, Mr. Shahid, Mohammed, Reshma, Deepak. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for motivating us to have an interactive session, so which will keep you also engaged. And I'm expecting a few more questions from you students and participants out there. All right, let's move ahead. Let's move with the upcoming slides. All right, now you have cleared these. Let's assume that you have cleared these prestigious examination. You have become an IAS officer, and you have cleared all the 3 stages. Do you think directly you will become a district collector? Do you think you will become the district collector directly even after clearing the IAS exam? Yes. See. Yes, exactly. Yes. I'll come to that point. I'll come to that point. Okay. Once you clear these particular examination, civil services examination, let me give you the example of IAS exam. You clear IAS examination tomorrow. Directly, you will not become an IAS district collector. There are different stages, different barricades you need to pass through. For example, if you're working for the state government, if you clear IAS and if you're working for the state government, you are initially posted as a sub-divisional magistrate. This has to be kept in mind. This is a general knowledge information. Tomorrow, if anybody asks you this question, you should be in a position to defend and give the counter answer. Once you clear civil services examination, we generally think that after clearing IAS exam, I directly become DC. No, you will not become a DC unless and until you cross this hierarchy. First, once you clear the civil services examination, and if you are appointed in the state civil services, you will be considered as a sub-divisional magistrate. Then you will be promoted as an additional magistrate, then district magistrate in the small district, then district magistrate in the large district, then divisional commissioner, then principal secretary of the state government, and then the chief secretary of the state government. See, if you want to reach till the level of chief secretary, you have to clear these examination at a very, very young age. I repeat, if you want to serve the country in the topmost position when you retire, or when you want to take a VRS from the services, if you want to have the topmost position, you have to clear this examination at a very young age. Please don't wait for 32 years to complete. If you're planning to take up this examination, just go for it, give an attempt, and you will clear the examination. And if you go on delaying the examination, it's very difficult for you to reach to the level of the topmost position in the state government services. On the other hand, if you are appointed in the central civil services, initially you will be posted as under secretary, then deputy secretary, then joint director, then joint secretary of the union ministry, then additional secretary of union ministry, then the secretary of union ministry, then the cabinet secretary. Cabinet secretary is a boss of IAS officers. You have to remember that. He is the head of the all IAS officers in the central government, cabinet secretary, and the chief secretary is the boss of IAS officers in the state government. So these are the positions offered for the aspirants who clear these particular examination. And to become a civil servant and to get these particular designations, anybody can write these exams. You may be from any background. You may be a doctor, you may be an engineer, you may be a scientist, or you may be a professional CA or anything for that matter. You all are eligible to get into these particular positions in future if you make up your mind to take up a career in civil services. And this is about IAS, that is Indian Administrative Services. Next comes IPS, Indian Police Services. Now again, in the IPS, initially once you clear Indian Police Services, that is Civil Services examination, you will be posted as Assistant Superintendent with 1 star on your shoulder. Then you will be promoted as Assistant Superintendent with 2 stars. Then DSP, Deputy Superintendent with 3 stars. Then based on your based on your services and based on your expertise, you are that emblem on your shoulder keeps on changing. For example, now if you look at Superintendent ISP, there is 1 star and an emblem. Now if you look at Senior Superintendent, 2 star and an emblem. Then Deputy Inspector General DIG, 3 stars and an emblem. Then IG, Inspector General, that sword and star, and DGP and the emblem and that particular sword. So these are the hierarchical order, and based on these particular structures, the promotions and the hierarchy is given to the IPS officers. Tomorrow, if you clear these prestigious examination, initially you will be posted as a Assistant Superintendent, and to attain to the DGP level or to the DIG level or IG level, again you have to clear this particular examination at a very young age. Am I clear? Am I clear, participants out there? Yes, that's great. All right. So we are done with IAS, we are done with IPS. Now let's get into Indian Foreign Services. What is the primary job responsibility of an IFS officer? First of all, who can become an IFS officer? Can medical graduates become an IFS officer? Can MBBS students can become an IFS officers? Yes. Can engineers can become an IFS officers? Yes. Can a graduate become an IAS officers? Yes. Anybody can become an IFS officers. Once you clear the civil services examination and once you choose for Indian Foreign Services, if you're working within the country, I mean inside the country, you will be appointed as an second secretary. Sorry, entry level you will be appointed as a third secretary. Then you will be promoted as a second secretary. Then the first secretary, then the counselor, then the chief of mission, and an ambassador of the embassy in the country. Then if you are appointed in the external ministers outside the country, initially the appointment will be under secretary, then the deputy secretary, then director, joint secretary, additional secretary, secretary, and the secretary of India. So these are the topmost positions offered to an IFS officers. Now, let me tell you a very important aspects. Irrespective of any positions, be it IAS, IPS or IFS, anything for that matter, irrespective of the positions, irrespective of the status, we will be considered as the person who has cleared this particular examination will be considered as a civil servant. So these are the services based on the passion. If you're passionate about serving the country at a different capacity as per your choice, you are given the freedom of choosing either IAS, IPS or IFS based on your performance at the civil services examination. So that's all about UPSC Civil Services Examination. And I believe that tomorrow if anybody asks you anything about Civil Services Examination, you must be in a position to defend that and you must be in a position to give the answer for that particular aspect. So this is all about UPSC Civil Services. Apart from Civil Services, UPSC also conducts various other exams. And these exams are appropriate as per your academic qualification. For example, I think we have already discussed about IAS. Who can write IAS exam? Anybody can write IAS exam. If you are from any educational background, if you are from any of the stream, you can write IAS examination. Next comes CDS. What is CDS, by the way? What is CDS? What is CDS? Combined Defense Services. Again, irrespective of your educational background, you can write CDS exam. And again, CDS exam, they have got further bifurcation. I will explain to you about these exams in my upcoming slides. Then NDA exams, National Defense Academy exams. I can see here some of the 11th and 12th students and parents participating for today's webinar. I would like to convey this message to you that all the aspirants of age group 16 to 19.5, basically 12 students. If your ward of your children, and if you are from science background, 11th to 12th, you are eligible to appear in the NDA examination. Once you clear the examination, NDA examination, he or she will be appointed in defense forces, army, navy and air forces, and this will be conducted by UPSC. Then Indian Economic Services Examination. This examination can be appeared by statistics and economics PG and economics professionals, and irrespective of your educational background, you can give an attempt for Economic Services Examination. Then CAPF, Central Armed Police Forces Examination. Then Indian Forest Service Examination, one more type of examination conducted by UPSC, and this examination can be appeared by anybody irrespective of your educational qualification. The next type of exams or the civil services under UPSC CISF, Central Industrial Security Forces. Then Engineering Services Examination. Can everybody write this exam? Can anyone write this exam? Yes, participants, can anyone write this exam, Engineering Service Exam?
Only engineering students.
Why? What is the reason behind that?
Because it's mentioned as it is
Exactly.
engineering service examination.
Exactly. That's an answer. I cannot write this exam because I don't know anything about from the engineering background. So only the engineers are entitled to write this particular examination. The same applies to CMS exam, Combined Medical Services. Can anybody write this exam? Who can write this exam? Only the doctors. Yeah, MBBS students and MBBS graduates can write this examination. Those who come under 21 to 32 years. Then geoscientist examination. Can everyone write this particular exam? Geoscientist exam. Only the BSc students with the geology subject can write these examinations. So what I'm trying to convey you the message is UPSC not only conducts civil services examination. Along with civil services, UPSC also conducts various other examinations which is listed on the screen. So this is about UPSC and sorry. And yes, somebody wants to ask something. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. You can attempt the examination provided you come under the notification bracket. I have showed you the notification structure, right? If you come under notification bracket and if your exam gets over before the examination results is announced, and if you get that provisional certificate, you are eligible to write this examination. So technically, all the final years, those who have appeared in the examination can write this particular examination. Am I clear? Yes. Okay, so this is nothing but the description about the list of exams conducted by UPSC. So far we are done with UPSC Civil Services Examination, and upcoming slides will have a very interesting aspects, so which will have a very important topic. So I request all the participants out there to pay full attention to the upcoming slides. So far we dealt with UPSC Civil Services Examination. Now I will be gradually moving into CDS examination. What is CDS exam? Combined Defense Services. Now, if you want to work for Government of India, if you want to work for Army, Navy and Air Force, irrespective of your educational background, you need to compulsorily write an examination conducted by UPSC, that is CDS examination. Now, see, I have showed you the age group of civil services examination. There the age group is completely different. Now here the age group is completely different. Now if you want to get into IMA, what is IMA? Can anyone, any participant out there give me the abbreviation of IMA? What is IMA? Indian Military Academy. Exactly. What is INA? Correct. Indian
Navy.
Military Academy. Then what is INA? What is INA stands for?
Indian Navy.
Indian Naval Academy. Exactly. And what is AFA?
Force.
What
Air
is
Force.
AFA stands for?
Air Force.
Air Force Academy. Exactly. Then what is OTA? Officers Training Academy. Exactly. This is an abbreviation of these exams. To get into these services, the minimum entry age limit is 19 years. You can become an officer of these services. Once you attain the age, till the age of 24, you can try to get into these particular services irrespective of your educational background. But one thing you have to be kept in mind, Indian Naval Academy and Indian Air Force Academy, only the science students can get into the stream. Why? Because to get into the technical background, physics, chemistry, mathematics knowledge is a must. Indian Naval Academy and Indian Air Force Academy, only the science students can get into, and military and officers training, any student can get into the service irrespective of your educational background and irrespective of your degree. You may be from medical background, you may be from engineering, you may be from the general education, you may be from healthcare sciences or allied sciences. Each and every aspirant has a golden opportunity to serve in these services as an officer plus as a professional of your respective educational background. Here you need not change your profession. You can practice as a doctor in IMA, you can practice as a dentist in IMA, you can practice as a allied healthcare professional in IMA. So there are multiple opportunities, but the important aspect which has to be kept in mind is that age group. You have to come under 19 to 24 years of age, and Officers Training Academy 19 to 25. These are the age limit, and these exams, if you want to serve into get into these services, compulsorily you have to appear in the examination conducted by UPSC. And which exam is that? Which exam is that? Yeah, gazetted post. I'll come into that. There are many slides here. There are many things to be discussed. So far, I'm at the central government. I have not yet shift to state or the local administration. I will explain gazetted. Okay. There are many things to be covered. All right. Next one. Assam Rifles. We have in the central government services, we have something called as Assam Rifles. The primary job responsibility of these officers to protect the boundaries of Assam and Himalayan region, Tibetan borders of Assam and Himalayan regions. The recruitment for these services is directly done by Ministry of Defense through a written examination. Along with the written examination, there are some other exams like physical test, skill test, medical test, and merit list. Can any participants out there tell me why there are many tests apart from written exams to these services? What is the logic behind that? Exactly, that's an answer. It is a field job. It is not an officer job. It is a field job. Whereas on the contrary, whatever I have discussed in the past, it is an office administrative job where the officers will be sitting inside the cabin and inside the office will be doing this particular task. But on the other hand, these officers, even though they are the central civil services officers, they will be working in field or they will be working on field on duty in the field. So for that, these exams are complemented along with the written test. Other tests are also being conducted. Again, as far as Assam Rifle is concerned, every year thousands of doctors, thousands of dentists, hundreds of professionals are hired for Assam Rifles because they want professionals to serve our officers who are serving in the Tibetan and Himalayan regions. So this is a golden opportunity for all the aspirants out there to join Assam Rifles, and to get into these services, you need to be thorough with the general knowledge and current affairs, which will be posted on a day-to-day basis. Along with the Assam Rifles, we also have something called as Border Security Force, BSF. What is the primary job responsibility of a BSF? Protecting the borders of Pakistan and Bangladesh. So again, the recruitment for BSF is done by Ministry of Home Affairs through a certain gazetted notification. Again, the selection process is physical test, written test, skill test, medical test, and so on. As similar to Assam Rifles, even the BSF is also a field related job. Next comes Central Reserve Police Forces. The primary job responsibility of CRPF officers is assisting state and union territories in the police operation and to maintain law and order. Again, the recruitment is done for Ministry of Home Affairs, and again this particular recruitment has got various selection process. Next comes CISF, Central Industrial Security Force. The primary job responsibility of these officers is to establish, to give the protection and to protect the facilities and projects owned and maintained by the government of India. Again, the recruitment for this particular agency is done by Ministry of Home Affairs, and the selection process goes on like that: written test, physical test, skill test, and so on. Next comes Indo-Tibetan Border Police Forces. The primary job responsibility of these organizations or these polices is to protect the borders of Tibetan region and to protect the Tibetan regional aspects. So again, the recruitment is done by Ministry of Home Affairs through a notification. Next comes National Security Guard or Black Cats. Where can you find these people? Can anyone give me the answer for that? Black Cats are those people who are responsible for countering the terrorism activities in India. Again, the recruitment for these recruitment test is done by Ministry of Home Affairs, and the selection process goes on written test, physical test, and so on. Next comes Special Protection Group. The Special Protection Group is an agency of Government of India whose primary responsibility is to protect the Prime Minister of India. So this is another type of protection services, which is again kind of recruitment is done by Ministry of Home Affairs, and the selection process also goes on similar to the previous examination aspects. Next comes Sashastra Seema Bal. The primary job responsibility of these officers is to protect the boundaries for Nepal and Bhutan. Again, the recruitment and the notification is released by the Ministry of Home Affairs, and the selection process is also similar to the previous examination. So why I explained about all these examinations and all the selection process is because of two reasons. You have to understand that. The first important reason of explaining and convey you the importance of these services is because irrespective of your educational background, irrespective of your qualification, you all are eligible to get into these services just by passing one simple examination. One. Second thing is, all these organizations are headed by IAS and IPS officers. So now you must be knowing the importance of IAS and IPS officers. So what I'm trying to say is, you can become a civil servant from different aspects and from different angles. The best option would be to crack civil services and become IAS and IPS officers directly, or you can join for these services indirectly just by passing the examinations conducted by these many organizations. So these are about the Central Civil Services Examination. Next comes RAW, Research and Analysis Wing. Can participant give me your presence just by raising your hand once? I just wanted to know your active participation. Yes, 41, 42. Yes, Sanjana, Carol, Mohammed Sinan. Yes. All right. Good, fair enough. 40 plus 46. Yeah, goes on increasing. All right, admit everybody. All right. Thank you for your active participation. All right. Done. Thank you. I keep on getting the pop-up notification. Thank you. All right. Okay, now let's get into RAW, Research and Analysis Wing, RAW. See, the RAW is an intelligence agency of India. All the RAW officers will be working for India outside the country. You getting it? They may be working as any low-profile jobs, or they may be working as anything for that matter, but they will be working outside the country. But they are our in-house research and analysis officers, and these officers are These officers are directly recruited by PMO, Prime Minister's Office. To become a RAW officer, first you have to clear any of the police forces examination, or you have to be an IAS officer or IPS officer, or you should be in any of the defense services. Again, to get into RAW, there is no direct examination. All the internal officers, those who have already cleared their examinations in the past, are hired for RAW. And the primary job responsibility and the work duty of RAW officers is an intelligence agency of India and protecting the sensitive information and fighting the counter-terrorism activities. So these are the RAW officers. Next comes Intelligence Bureau, IB, similar to RAW, but they are recruited internally by conducting one particular examination. That examination is done by through a notification released by Ministry of Home Affairs, and these are also a spy agent. Yes. Yeah, internal examination through a Ministry of Home Affairs gazetted notification. So, irrespective of your educational background, irrespective of your qualification, you all are eligible to get into these prestigious civil services. So, so far I was discussing about Group A jobs. You need to understand that. Sorry. Admit everybody. So far I was discussing about Group A jobs. Now I will gradually shift into Group B civil services. If you want to work for the Government of India for Group B and Group C, you have to compulsorily appear in an examination conducted by SSC, Staff Selection Commission. You need to understand these aspects very, very carefully. If you want to work for central government, under Group A, you have to compulsorily appear in an examination conducted by UPSC, Union Public Service Commission. And if you want to work for central government for Group B and Group C, you have to appear in the examination conducted by Staff Selection Commission. And one thing you have to keep in mind, all the officers, irrespective of your educational background, if you clear this examination, you will be working under UPSC gazetted Group A officers. So this is about staff selection exams. There are many exams in SSC. I have listed a few exams. There are more than 20 to 30 exams conducted by SSC. So technically all the Group B and Group C jobs or the Group C civil services recruitment is done by SSC, that is Staff Selection Commission. Next comes No, it's completely a different syllabus. If you look at these particular exams, there are multiple exams conducted by SSC. Now, if you look at SSC CGL, graduate level examination, the syllabus is up to UG, graduation. Now, if you look at junior secondary examinations, the syllabus is up to class 11th and 12th. Now, if you look at the GD constable syllabus, class 12th. See, what I was trying to say is different exams, but you will be working as a Group B and Group C officers, not a Group A officers. To become a Group A officer, compulsorily, irrespective of your expertise, irrespective of your experience, you have to appear in the Central Civil Services Examination or the UPSC examination conducted by UPSC Recruitment Board. So CSSC is a Group B and Group C. There are many exams and the syllabus keeps on changing from one examination to another examination. But one common aspect is most of the general knowledge and the aptitude questions are asked in these exams, irrespective of UPSC, SSC, RRB, or any examination for that matter is common. If you are thorough with the general knowledge, if you are fully proficient with the general knowledge and current affairs, you can crack any examinations of this particular country. So that's all about SSC. Next comes Railway Recruitment Board. Irrespective of your educational background, again, you may be from medicine, you may be from any field, there are many exams conducted by Railway Recruitment Board, and I have listed some of the top 4 exams conducted by RRB. The first one is RRB non-technical popular categories, that is also called as NTPC exams. Everybody can write this examination irrespective of educational degree. Then next comes Junior Engineering exam, that is JE. Only the engineers can write this exam. Then the third type of exam conducted by RRB is Loco Pilot. Who are Loco Pilot? Who are Loco Pilot? Drivers. Yes, okay. They are Loco Pilots. Then Assistant Loco Pilot. They are assistant to your drivers. Then Group B and Group C. If you want to work for a railway department, Railway has got its own recruitment division. Unless and unlike UPSC and SSC, they select for Group A, Group B officers. But if you want to work for Railway, even though it is Group A, you have to compulsorily appear in examination conducted by Railway Recruitment Board. And to make you very astonishing point, in India we have about 14 million railway employees. 14 million, yes, 1.4, yeah, 14 million railway employees, and we are the largest employer of employees under Indian Railway Civil Services. So railway has got a ample of opportunities irrespective of, not 14, sorry, 1.4 million, 14 lakhs. I was confused. So railway has got 1.4 million employees, that is 14 lakhs. Irrespective of your educational background, you may be from medicine, you may be from engineering, or anything for that matter, railway has got an opportunity to get into the services. So this is all about railway. And as far as the syllabus for railway recruitment board examination is concerned, it has got a standard syllabus which can be readily downloaded from the official website of Railway Recruitment Board, RRB. So that's all about railway examination. So just to make you informed, just to make these aspects clear, that even though railway is a central civil services examination, it has got its own recruitment board. So railway is all about the another type of civil services examination that are available in the country. And the next slide for the day is difference between UPSC and state PCS exam. Can any one participant out there clearly tell me the difference between state PCS and UPSC exam? By now, you must be very, you must. Okay, and apart from that, I'm looking for a one specific answer which is very unique and which is highly differentiable between the UPSC and KPSC. What is that? Any hint? Now, if you look at UPSC examination, it is an all India level examination, and if you look at the state PCS examination, it is within the state territorial boundaries. If you prepare for UPSC exam, you can write any state government examination. But on the other hand, if you prepare for state PCS exam, can you write the central UPSC examination? No. Yes, that is a major difference. So what I'm trying to convey you the message is, if you're planning to write any examination, be it UPSC, be it SSC, RRB, or any examination for that matter, start preparing for UPSC exam. If you prepare for UPSC exam, you can write any competitive examination in India. Whatever the slides I have shown you in the past, whatever may be the services, be it BSF, Assam Rifle, RRB, SSC, any examination for that matter, if you prepare for UPSC, you can crack any exams in India. On the other hand, if you prepare for the state recruitment board examination, you cannot write the central civil services examination. So that is an important aspect. And one more important point which has to be kept in mind is that UPSC examination is conducted once in every year. If you are unable to get through the examination in the first attempt, you can try for next year immediately. But on the other hand, in the state PCS examination, notification sometimes comes once in 3 to 4 years. It depends on the number of intakes. So to be on the safer side, always go for the state UPSC rather than going for state PCS. Okay, so for example, in Karnataka, we have Karnataka Public Service Commission. Tamil Nadu, they have their own Public Service Commission, that is TNPSC. Then Madhya Pradesh, they has got MPSC. Kerala has got their own Public Service Commission. So each and every state has got its own state Public Service Commission examination. So these are the different classifications of civil services: All India Services, Central Civil Services, and All India Services, Central Civil Services, and State Civil Services. So this was about the first part of the session. Now, the second part of the session, some of the theoretical aspects, I would like to quickly wind it up by completing these aspects. I would like to say that why you should try for civil services examination. The major reason why, irrespective of your educational background, I repeat this again and again, because I want to make sure that all are eligible to appear for the civil services examination, and career in civil services is one of the most diversified option available to you after your graduation. So so you need to understand that why you should pursue a career in civil services. First important reason is it is a contribution to the society. Once you become a civil servant, you will have the n number of opportunities to contribute to the society. The second most important reason why you should try for civil services, it gives you a lot of respect, it gives you a lot of authority and power. And the third important reason why you should take up a career in civil service is job security. Nobody, I repeat, nobody can remove you from central civil services unless and until there are some genuine reasons. Nobody can remove you from the civil services. If you look at the politicians, be it MLA, MP, MLC, or anybody for that matter, they, pardon? Yeah, exactly. They can only transfer you, but they cannot remove you. On the other hand, MLA, MP, and MLC is concerned, their tenure is 5 years. But once you become a civil servant, your tenure will be 35 to 30 to 35 years. So it's a great job opportunity and a job security. Then gone are the days that your civil servants used to get less salary. Nowadays, civil servants are drawing more than lakhs of rupees per month as a salary. Apart from salary, they are given a lot of benefits like allowances, transportation, housing, free child, many such benefits. So that is also one of the reasons why you should take up a career in civil services. And the third important aspect is self-satisfaction. It gives you a sense of satisfaction that you are serving for the country, that you are serving for the people. Then the important other reason is diversity of work. Civil servant keeps on working at different activities. He will not restrict towards one particular aspect. He keeps on changing his work profile, designations, and so on. Then important aspect is, if you prepare for civil services examination, you are preparing for life. You have to understand this. If you don't crack the exam, if you don't become an officer, it doesn't matter, it's not a problem. But if you prepare for civil services, you will know the importance of the aspects, and it will prepare you for life. You will be one of the most resourceful, you will be one of the most respectable individual in a society if you prepare for a civil services. And another important reason is it gives a lot of education and exposure. If you prepare for civil services, the exposure what you get is tremendous. We have experienced this. Once upon a time, even I was an aspirant, even I had also tried to get into civil services. It gives a lot of education, your diversity, your knowledge goes on increasing like anything, and the exposure what you get after joining civil services is completely something, it's completely beyond. It's a tremendous opportunity where you can experience. And apart from this, there are no losers in civil services. I repeat this again and again. All those who appear in civil services will fail above everybody else who have not tried to get into these services. There are no losers in civil services. If you attempt a civil services examination, you have tried something very big, something very unique, which nobody else has done. So you must understand one important aspect. If you are unable to crack the examination, you are not a loser, but you have gained something beyond. You have learned a different aspect which nobody else has done. So that would be one of the important reasons why you should pursue an option for civil services. And the most important reason why you should pursue a career in civil services is you will become an asset for the nation. Maybe as an officer, maybe as one of the most reputable person in the society, maybe one of maybe there are a lot of opportunities. If you pursue a career in civil services, you ultimately and become one of the most important asset for the nation. Now, I would like to give you one of the important aspects that everybody cannot become a civil servant. Everybody, you may be qualified, you may be having a certain qualification, you may be exceptionally brilliant in your academics, you may be having all the resources, but still, if you don't have aptitude and foundational values, you will not become a civil servant. The first important aspect what you need to have to become a civil servant is exceptional communication skills. If you have a good communication skill, you will become a great civil servant. Then you need to have a leadership skills, critical thinking and listening skills. You need to listen to others. You need to listen to everybody else who are giving you the inputs. So these are one of the most important aptitude values for civil services. Then the most important aspect and the quality of a civil servant, or if you want to become a civil servant, you need to build network and you have to form a team. Once you do that, it's very easy for you to build this rapport and come up with the aptitudinal values. Then high level of professionalism, whatever it may be, you need to maintain that. Once you maintain the professionalism at the topmost goal, it is one of the most important aptitude and the values which is required for a civil servant or to get into the civil services. Then innovative solutions and ability to negotiate. In society, you must have experienced hundreds of problems, hundreds of issues. You must try to solve those problems, and you need to have the skill to negotiate with the people to solve that particular problem. If you have all these important aptitude and foundational values, then you are a right fit for a civil services and to get into civil services for the country. Then, as I already said, no losers in the civil services. What if you are unable to crack civil services examination? You need to have plan B and backup options. Suppose if you are unable to become a civil servant, you need to have plan B. Unless and until you have a plan B, it's very difficult for you to survive. If you have decided, if you have made your mind to get into civil services, if you don't have plan B, it is very, very difficult. The first option, plan B for an aspirant who is planning to become a civil servant is academics and teaching careers. Then the second option is 90% of the syllabus is similar to one of the other exams. If you are unable to crack UPSC, you can crack state BCSC. If you are unable to crack any other exams, there are many such opportunities. Then if you are preparing for, as I already said, if you are preparing for UPSC, you can go for state BCS. And if not, since you all are UG student, if you are unable to crack civil services, you can do your masters later on at any point of time. You can go for graduation, post-graduation. Then you can also become a subject matter expert in that particular subject domain. And if not, you can become a public policy maker. You can give your suggestions, ideas to the politicians, officers. There are a lot of such opportunities. And the most important plan B for civil services would be politics. Joining politics, that is also one of the most important aspects, because you know everything about the society, you know everything about the civil aspects, you know everything about the people who are working in the society. So politics is also one of the most important career opportunity for the people who have tried their luck in the civil services. And once after taking up civil services and after becoming a civil servant, also you can go for a politics. If you study anything related to civil services, getting into politics is a very, very easy task. Then career in corporate, obviously, because you will be having a degree in your respective field. You may be any of the professionals as per your academic qualification. You can join the corporate, and if not anything, you can start your own business or you can go for a entrepreneurship. Always keep one thing in mind. I repeat this again and again. Unless and until you have plan B, never get into civil services. If you want to get into civil services, plan B is a must. I repeat that because we have seen in my teaching profession and in my professional teaching experience for the last 6 years, we have seen people who have tried to get into civil services have end up with the top post position in the top organization, and the same is exceptionally brilliant student, 90%, 95% of their students have not able to achieve anything in their life. So always you need to have a plan B if you are preparing for the civil services examination. Then I would like to highlight one of the most important aspects, that is the planning to crack the civil services examination in the first attempt. You need to understand these 7 aspects very, very carefully. First, you understand the examination structure. Unless and until you understand the examination structure, what sort of questions are asked, what is the pattern of examination, even though if you study everything, if you read lots of books, it's of no use. So if you want to crack the examination, you have to understand examination structure very, very carefully. Then always read the Hindu English newspaper, especially the editorial column. I repeat again and again, only the editorial column. You don't have to read all the 16 pages of the newspaper. Only the editorial column is of great importance. Then be thorough with NCERT class 6 to 12 textbook, EVS, science and mathematics. I repeat, environmental science, science and mathematics, NCERT textbook class 6 to 12. Then choose your optional as per your degree aspects. Then always stay updated with general knowledge and current affairs. Please look at the news and go through the newspaper articles and everything. Then get basic clears. Your foundation must be very clear. and your basic has to be very strong. And the last important strategy to crack any civil services examination in India is you must always think like an officer. Unless and until you start thinking like an officer, if you start thinking like a layman, there will not be any importance, or it will not be of any supporting nature. So always think like an officer, and these are some of the scientifically proven strategy to crack any competitive examinations in India and abroad, that too in the very first attempt. These are not my own points. These points are scientifically analyzed based on n number of research conducted by looking at the samples and by collecting the samples of the civil services examination aspirants across the country. So these are the 7 strategically approved strategy to crack any competitive examinations in the country. Then there are a lot of myths about civil services examination. You need to understand that competitive examinations are the toughest examinations in India. I don't deny the fact that it would be easy. Competitive examination are the toughest exam, but if you get the right guidance, if you are under the right strategy, if you are under the right mentor, or if you have a right preparation strategy, any examinations can be cracked. So you must understand it's not easy to crack competitive examination. It's difficult, but if you have the right strategy, cracking these examination is a very, very easy task. So that has to be kept in mind. Then the second important myth is that only academic topper can crack these exams. Those who get 90%, 95% can crack this exam. No, it's a myth. I have seen students, I have seen people just pass 35%, 40% people are becoming an IAS and IPS officer. They are not academic toppers. They were not academic toppers. They were least students in their academics. But still, today, they are serving the country in the topmost position. So academic marks has nothing to do with the civil services examination. Even if you are a low mark, low percentage candidate, still you can crack civil services examination, provided you have the right guidance and right mentorship. So it is for everybody. It is not only for the academic toppers. Civil services examination is for everyone, irrespective of your academic performances. Then aspirants should know everything under the sun. Generally, people say that if you are preparing for civil services, you have to read that, this, those books. No, nothing is required. Nothing to be any such thing has to be done. If you are preparing for civil services examination, there is something called a syllabus. For every examination, there are syllabus, and under the syllabus, there are chapters. Under the chapters, there are units which has to be followed. Accordingly, if you follow systematically, you can prepare and crack these examinations without anybody's support. I repeat, without anybody's support. So there are, I'm coming to the next point. If you look at the 4th point, you cannot clear the exam. You cannot clear the exam without it. No. You can clear the self-study is possible. You can clear these examinations even without attending the coaching, but provided you need to understand the examination pattern and structure. Somebody has to be there at one point of your life. Somebody. Because you may not be expert in everything. You may not be expert in the optional paper. You may not be expert in everything. So just to make sure, just to track you on the right straight path, somebody has to be there. And you can crack any exam without even attending coaching also. There are many people who have done it. So that is also one of the myth. Then candidates should attempt maximum number of questions to clear the exam. That is the biggest myth. Every competitive examination has got cutoffs. If you are able to meet that cutoff, stop there and you just walk out the examination hall. Every competitive examination, you need not attempt the maximum number of questions. You need to attempt the right number of questions with a minimum efforts. So that strategy has to be implemented. And one more myth, you must have seen people saying that I studied 12 hours, I used to study for 15 hours, 14 hours in a day to crack this examination. That is a complete myth. It's practically not possible for a human brain, for an active human brain, to study for 12 to 14 hours in a day. Even if you study for 12 to 14 hours, nothing will remain in your head. The right strategy would be studying 3 to 4 hours, maximum 4 to 5 hours in a day to prepare for these examinations. So that is one of the important myths which has to be tackled. Then another important myth is aspirants should read many books as possible. As I already said, there are any number of books in the market. If you just type the exam name on the internet, you will find any number of study materials. Yes, there are hundreds of books and hundreds of study materials available on the internet. You need to select the right appropriate material and prepare for the exams. If you go on reading for everything, it's very difficult for you to crack these exams. Then make notes on every single point in the syllabus. As I already mentioned, there is something called as syllabus. In the syllabus, there is something called as chapter. In the chapter, there is something called as unit. You need to make handwritten notes, not a ready-made notes. Handwritten notes. If you make handwritten notes, you can crack any competitive examinations in the country. So these are some of the myths which has to be taken from your mind right now and right from this day. So that is one of the myths which has to be taken into consideration. Then the important slide for the day is parents teachers role in civil services examination preparations. Parents and we, the teachers, play an equal role in guiding students to clear this civil services examination. It's not only from the aspirant side, even the parents' role and the teacher roles plays equally importance in the success of a student. If you are especially if you are preparing for a civil services examination, the teacher's role plays a very crucial here. And even the teacher is directly responsible for the success and failure of the students when it comes to competitive examination, because teacher knows how to guide the student and how to train the student. At the same time, parents' responsibility is also equally similar to as teachers to guide their students and guide their children to crack this examination. So what we have to do is, as an academician or as a parent, those are preparing for civil services, we need to create a support environment for the children, because every time in the first attempt it may not be possible to crack these exams. So we must provide the supportive environment to prepare while preparing for these particular examination. Then we need to break down the preparation process into parts. It's not that giving them the bulky materials together. We have to break down the process. We have to guide them towards prelims, then we have to guide them towards mains, then interview. It's not that compiling everything and giving the material and enrolling the student for the program which gives everything simultaneously, which trains. There are some institutions which trains students simultaneously for all the 3 stages, prelims, mains, interview. So that is not at all a right strategy. So preparation has to be broken into the parts. So it is our responsibility as the parents and teachers to make sure that the quality of education is imparted to each and every students who are enrolled in the civil services examination. Then one-on-one teaching techniques. Group classroom teaching may be there, but one-on-one technique is a right appropriate methodology while preparing for the civil services. Then we parents as a teachers must provide essential resources. There may be n number of materials, there may be n number of resources available in the market. So it's not at all feasible for us to provide the materials. So we have to provide the right essential materials. Then we should always support our children's mental and physical health. During civil services examination, there may be trauma, there may be a depression, there may be a stress among the aspirants. That even applies to students and even we adults also for that matter. So mental health has to be given a lot of importance, especially during the preparation stages, and along with the mental health, physical health importance also be looked into the consideration. Then timely support and positive feedbacks. Even if they fail in their tests, that's okay, no problem. We need to have the positive feedback. We need to provide them the timely support. We need to have the right infrastructure and the right support mechanism while training them for the civil services examination. And the important aspect, the parents and teachers must understand, I repeat that, we must understand that it is okay to fail in competitive examination. I repeat, it is okay if you fail in competitive examination, because competitive examination will not define your future. There may be n number of competitive examinations available in the market. So there may be n number of opportunities. There may be n number of career opportunities. So it's okay to fail in the competitive examination. So being a teacher, being a parent, it is our responsibility to make sure that the quality of education is imparted, and it is our responsibility to guide the aspirants in a very, very timely manner. And if you're preparing for a civil services examination, you need to have some of the important documents. This slide plays a very, very important role. If you are preparing for civil services, you need to have SSLC original marks card, that is matriculation mark card. Then you need to have degree completion, that is provisional marks card or the convocation marks card in original. Then print out of e-summon letter. Once you clear any of these examination, e-summon letter will be given to you. You need to carry that letter. Then government issued ID card, be it Aadhaar, PAN or voter ID, passport or anything for that matter. Any one ID card is a must. Then 2 passport size photograph with background white in color. Then if you come under any of the reserved category, OBC, SC, ST or any of the reserved category, you need to have the certificate in English language. Please make sure that the certificate has to be in English language. Most of the aspirants may be having a certificate in the regional language such as Kannada, Malayalam. That will not be accepted in the central services. So you need to have the certificates in the regional languages. So these are the important documents which you need to carry. So that's all. 900 hours. 900 hours. You need to undergo mandatorily 900 hours of intensive training. If you are preparing self-study and if you are going with under somebody's guidance, you need to have at least 600 hours of intensive training, and that 600 hours of training includes test series, mock test series, practice test series and analysis, everything irrespective of the academic curriculum and structure. So this is all about the important aspect. This is all about the civil services sessions which we planned today for you guys. Before I actually wind up the session, I would like to say that we at Yenepoya University has started a Center for Civil Services Examination. The primary objective of this particular center is to train students to get into the civil services, which I have explained to you in the last previous slides. If you're preparing, if you're aspiring to get into the civil services, we at Center for Civil Services Examination would like to welcome you, and we can provide you all sorts of guidance, study materials, and India's best faculty, the topmost resources faculty will be joining us for the Center for Civil Services. And along with all these programs, we at Yenepoya University has also started a unique program. I request all the participants out there to convey this message to your siblings, your family members and your friends. In our Yenepoya Institute of Arts, Science, Commerce and Management, we have started a new program by the name BA Public Policy and Administration embedded with the Civil Services program. It is a 4-year degree program wherein the students, if the student enroll for that program, the aspirants can appear in almost 56 plus government exams, even the central and state civil services examinations. If they don't want to serve the government services, they can go for higher studies. We prepare them for various other competitive examinations like competitive entrance exams and so on. So this one program will define the career, and this particular program, BA Public Policy and Administration, is an embedded program wherein the students will be trained for everything, all the civil services examinations which I mentioned in the past. So this is all about the initiative which are taking at the Yenepoya University, and today's entire session is being organized by Center for Civil Services Examination and the organizing committee. So I would like to thank the entire committee for organizing this particular session. And I think I'm done with today's session, and I'm done with everything what the message I have to be conveyed. And if you have any questions, you can ask me right now. And if you are unable to, if you are hesitant to ask verbally, you can type your questions on the comment section. We will try to give you the answer for that particular question in a short while. So that's all for the day. Thank you so much. You all have been a lovely audience, and you all have been so patient today. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions pertaining to today's session, please feel free to ask. What's the question? Yeah, Miss Divya Sharma. Divya Sharma, are you there? Just raise your hand. Miss Divya Sharma. Sir, please give guidance about optional subject. I think Divya, I have already conveyed everything to you about the optional subject, and I think that message was sent 2:30. So that already conveyed, and that aspect has been rectified. And again, the question: time for preparation. If you are preparing self preparation, if you are preparing for a self study, then it would be 900 hours. Then if you are preparing under institutional aspects like Center for Civil Services under expert guidance, it would require 600 hours of intensive training. And this intensive training, 600 hours of training will include test series, mock test series, mock examinations, personality tests, and the entire syllabus coverage from prelims, mains, and interview. All the three stages will be covered in this particular aspects. Sir, I am from medical stream, and is anthropology good option? One subject. Yes, yes, yes. Even though you are from a medical stream, what's her name? Miss Divya. Yeah, Miss Divya wants to know that she is from a medical science background. Can she offer anthropology as an optional paper? Yes, obviously. You need not choose medical subjects. That's the reason it has given an optional. You can choose any of the paper, and since anthropology has something to do with bones and everything, so that is one of the most important that would be most one of the feasible option for you to choose. Yes, you can go for anthropology as your optional paper. Then one more question: what are the safe marks for general categories? Okay, that is a very good question. I was expecting that question, actually, honestly speaking. If you come under general category, if you want to clear the first stage of examination, that is GS1, out of 200, you need to score at least 115 marks. 115 to be on the safer side. Every year depends, 95 to 100 cutoff, 105 to 110 cutoff. To be on the safer side, it's always advisable to reach 115 limit. So 115 would be my personal perspective. I hope that question is being answered. Then, which is the? No. There is no fishery science optional paper, unfortunately. No. You can go for biology. You can go for botany. You can go for zoology. Any such papers. Since you are from BSc background, so that paper would be of great importance. And apart from that, yes. So before I actually wind up, I request all the participants to give me your quick feedback in just one line so that we can improve. We are also human beings. We may also make some mistakes. So if you want to improve, we would expect certain feedbacks from you. So kindly request you to give the feedback in the chat box. And as promised and as mentioned, all your e-certificates, free e-certificates will be sent to your respective email IDs in PDF format. You can download it from there, and you can use this particular certificate as one of the credential for attending the session on civil services. And that too, this certificate is being issued by Yenepoya deemed to be university, and we are the top university. We are one of the top university in India, and that certificate will have a lot of value and weightage in your CV, and it can be used as one of the credential. So soon it will be sent to your registered email address. So anything apart from this? Any questions, any suggestions, or any feedback? You can comment on the comment section. Exactly. That's a very good suggestion. We will plan such sessions in near future. We will definitely look into that. And one more question from Miss Reshma Deepak. If you want to give services in military as a doctor, exam is there. Yes, there are many exams by the departmental defense services, especially for the doctors. Recently, Ministry of Defense has signed MOU with a premium organization, especially to hire MBBS doctors, because in the defense forces there are lakhs of soldiers, lakhs of officers who would require medical assistance. For that, lots of hundreds or thousands of doctors are being hired every year. Being in a medical profession, being an MBBS graduate, or being a medical healthcare professional, getting into army or defense is one of the best career option you can go for. Yes, there are multiple exams conducted by the defense services for MBBS graduates and medical doctors. Danya, okay, yeah, Labas and such institutions, right? Hmm. Hmm. You have to take up a course under public policy and administration. If you take up if you are a graduate in public policy and if you're a master's degree in public administration and policy making, you can teach at all the premium institutional in India, because public policy and public administration is one such paper which has importance in all the diversified fields. You name any organization, be it Labasna, be it Sardar Vallabhai Patel Institutions of Police Academy, be it Indian Institutions of Foreign Services, be it IIT, be it IIM, or any premium organizations in India, public policy is one of the most important paper. So career in public policy would be one of the right feasible option where you can go for your PG and masters, and even if you do PhD in that particular subject, you will be somewhere. So you will be in the top most position as a director of these prestigious organizations and everything. So that would be my suggestion, and there are many such opportunities also. But as per your question is concerned, I would give you the public policy and public administration as a paper. Hope you got the answer. Yes, and one more. I am, what is that? Who is that? Dania Hebbar. I am a law student, which would be a better optional paper. Since you are a law student, just a second, quickly let me go to the optional paper. See, there is law paper. Since you are a law paper, you can directly go for law optional, right? Why do you want to take any other optional paper? Because since you come from social science, if you are a LLB degree holder, law optional would be one of the most feasible solutions because you have already studied. And apart from law, if you're asking me for any other alternative solution, I would suggest you to go for public administration, because public administration is one such paper in UPSC where most of human relations and human resource management concepts are covered. So you can go for public administration, and you can go for law paper also. That would be my suggestion. That's all. I hope this is clear, Miss. What's her name? Danya. Danya, right? Yes. Yes. GS1, not only GS1, GS2, even GS4 ethic papers are also covered. Yes, in the public administration. That is one of the most opted paper in UPSC civil services examination. All right. Then any other questions? Yeah, there are many books in the market, available in the market. As I already said, if you are preparing for these examination, I would suggest handwritten notes. As per UPSC examination syllabus, what you have to do is, first you have to download the syllabus from the official website. From there, you have to analyze the subject. Once you analyze the subject, you will understand about the chapters and the units. Accordingly, you have to prepare handwritten notes. This would be the right appropriate strategy. And if you ask for one specific textbook, there is an publication by McGraw-Hill. Such books you can go for it. Public administration. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, but every year question paper changes. That you have to keep in mind. One year they will focus on general knowledge and current affairs. The next subsequent year they'll focus on static part. Then again the third year would be the general knowledge. It keeps on rotating. So the rotational shift keeps on happening. Mandendra? Done? Okay. Any other questions from participants? Yes, some Kiran Singh. Kiran Singh wants, Kiran Singh, yeah, you're the one. Yes, yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. And apart from that, any other additional questions? All right. Thank you, Kiran. We'll look into that, and we will have many such sessions in future for sure. Hmm. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We will have many such initiative at our Center for Civil Services examination. We are rolling out. So you can contact me on my personal number, and you can also contact me on my official email address. All right. Thank you. And any other questions from there? Anything? Any other stuff? Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. So I think it's time. So yeah. Somebody wants to ask? That is a practice. That is a practice, written practice. You need to practice maximum number of questions. You need to practice by looking at the previous year questions. So that's the only strategy where you can implement and improve the answer writing. That's the only strategy. You have to write, and write. That's all. All right. So I think we have exceeded the minutes. Our slot was 2 to 4. Now it is 2, 4:30, 4:20. So, all right. So anyway, thank you so much, all the participants out there, and once again, you all have been a lovely audience. Thank you so much for being with me throughout the session for the last 140 minutes or so. Thank you so much, and hopefully, we will have many such future sessions in future as well. All right. Thank you so much once again. Thank you. All the very best to you all. Thank you. Right. Okay. All right then. Fine. Thank you. Huh? Thank you. Thank you so much.